Hi, I'm Sanjeev Goyal, Professor of Economics at Cambridge and a coordinator of the networks team at the Janeway Institute. I'd like to tell you about a major line of research that I'm undertaking as part of my research at the Janeway Institute. I'm developing a conceptual framework to think about multi-layer networks. To put it in context, over the last 25 years, economists have come a long way in understanding how networks form, how they affect behavior and shape aggregate economic outcomes. But practically all of this work has dealt with one network at a time. So it could be friendship networks, or it could be supply chains, or it could be family networks. But if you think about it, it's easy to see when we make major decisions or when major social or economic or political events occur, many networks are at work. So let me go back to a classic paper by Paget and Ansel from 1993. They studied the rise of the Medici family in Renaissance Florence, and they argued that it was the presence of the Medici family in 4 distinct networks: the banking network, the intermarriage network, the trading network, and the political alliance network, that led to them emerging as a decisive, prominent family. In each of these networks, there were other families that were prominent, but it was the Medicis who were spanning these 4 networks, and they were able to leverage this to create a dominance. On a more mundane level, one can see that if one is making a choice about a profession, or one is making choices about a portfolio of financial assets, probably our different, professional network, a family network, a sports network, or friendship network is going to come into play to different extents, possibly, but they're going to interact in shaping our decisions. So this is sort of the high-level idea behind this project. And what we are trying to do is develop a conceptual framework which can help us analyze theoretically and empirically how these interacting networks shape us and shape our behavior, but also how we go about creating these interacting networks. And we are hoping to apply these framework to the study of very concrete sort of practical problems. So one problem we are very interested in is trying to understand notions of identity. So we are who we know, and our values are somehow, defined and shaped by the people we hang out with. So we want to understand how our different networks are going to shape who we are, but also we want to ask whether these networks are rather similar. Are they with very different sets of people? As in the case of the Medici family, do we span different networks? Are we mostly in one network? And we want to understand how our networks are going to shape our attitudes and values, especially our views about trust of strangers. Why? Because we know that trust of strangers is very important when thinking about economic activity, when thinking about trust of institutions. And so it's a very natural first step towards thinking about political order. So we're sort of thinking of using this approach also to studying international relations and international conflict. And here we are thinking of bringing together trading relationships between countries, geographical proximity, supply chains, and political alliances as a way to think about how these different relationships countries have on these different layers, how they're going to shape their decisions and the high-level outcomes that we are very interested in.